wanted to visit like an ancient ruin, like somewhere in the world?
Ooh,
You guys ever wanted to? Put it in the comments. I've always wanted to see like the pyramids of Giza or something. Like it just weird, abandoned ancient places.
The Colosseum for me.
Okay, right.
The Roman Colosseum.
That's pretty cool.
Because I would definitely, the infrastructure of it is pretty fascinating.
I think the best part about those kinds of ruins too is that it's
on
kind
land,
of easily accessible.
And it's on land.
Yeah. So I know we're gonna get out of the way, and we're not gonna get too far into it because I'm sure we've all been inundated with the information about this Titan sub going to visit the Titanic.
It's called Oceangate sub.
Yeah, Oceangate. That's perfect.
Beautiful.
Oh God! So those 5 people. Now we know. And when it broke too, when I first heard this story early on Monday, I was there with my boss. I was at work, and I was just like reading it, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're dead."
Yeah.
I'm calling it. Like what? I mean, come on, they're dead.
Let me ask.
And that's exactly what happened. Once the pressure got too deep.
Yeah.
Or too strong once they got too deep.
Let me ask you this. Okay. Why? What's there to see? Like, hold on. Okay, we have
the movie. I pretty much know what it looks like
we have
down
the movie.
There in the water.
They've done documentaries of it, right? Like, what's left to see? Right? Like what? Like, why do you have to
Getting
see
to
it?
physically see it? I mean, then again, someone could very well use that same argument against seeing the Colosseum, or why it's a big deal for me to see the pyramids at Giza. Like, okay, go watch a documentary and you'll be fine. There's a movie about, whatever.
Yeah,
go watch Gladiator, bro. There's everything you need to know.
Okay, I understand your argument a little bit, but here's the difference, though. You're not having to go 2,000 feet underwater or 2,000 feet up in the air.
Right, I'm not going to space either.
Like, yeah, you have to get on a plane and travel, but, I mean,
You're running a pretty big risk. I think when you're going into that, like, considering how deep you're going, there's a pretty good chance that you're all going to die.
So my initial thinking about my initial thoughts on this was, okay, so somebody just saw Elon Musk and how he's trying to fucking ship people up into space and stuff. Someone had this genius idea. Well, let's just have a fucking tour sub and take people to go see the Titanic in person.
They've been doing that for a little bit.
Hold on. But my predictions were true after doing a little deep sea digging.
Oh my God. A deep dive.
No, well, that's kind of how this Oceangate company started. Was they wanted to do tourist attractions. People are paying, and they're fighting for it now after what happened. $250,000 to go see the fucking Titanic, where you could spend $10 and see the great Leonardo DiCaprio. Fucking, you could see it for, like, I'm just saying.
You could die in the
water. But for
$250,000, you can become the heart of the ocean.
And not only that, it's not even like a luxurious sub.
No.
This is and I've done research, I swear. CNN, by the way, CNN.com. This is all in there. You have to sit crisscross applesauce. There's only one seat in there for the driver, and then everyone else you have to cram in there and sit crisscross applesauce. So imagine you and like 5 people your size. I don't think they let fat people in there. And sitting in your closet, crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
$250,000. So now, after this happened, people are wanting their refunds, right? Right? You would want a refund, right? Right? You would. I mean, but
they'll pay for the funeral.
You know what the company's saying? No refunds.
Who refunded to who? The families?
No, the family.
The
that's
dead people.
No,
Who's getting refunds?
No. The people that are on the waiting list for the next trip.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No. The families are suing.
Who's fucking getting a refund here?
No. The people that
got your money's worth.
The people that passed are suing.
Okay.
The company.
The people that were on future.
The waiting list.
Yes.
For the next ride.
It's all canceled. No refunds.
I don't even know if that they canceled it. It's just that people are wanting refunds, and the company's like, no.
Oh, they don't want to go.
No refunds. Yeah, people don't want to go. They're like,
that makes sense.
I don't know. I mean,
the one thing that really bothered me about it, and I know it was kind of shakily put together, which is weird too. Wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was his first voyage on this particular vessel, and it was powered by a Logitech knockoff Xbox controller.
Yeah. Right.
Why?
Right.
Why? When I accidentally bought the PlayStation 1 offline, and I'm like, I can't even operate a video game.
Right.
Let alone we're going to go all the way to the Titanic with this thing.
Right.
Everything about it seemed like a laugh. You know, the quick clips I caught of, was it Stockton Rush, like talking about the thing, and he's like, oh yeah, I got this piece from Camping World. And I'm like, what the fuck is going, like, is this a big joke?
Right.
And then it implodes on its descent. And I'm like,
well,
of course it did.
Allegedly.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with this.
So it's funny with that. This company, this submarine in particular, has failed safety inspections for years. For years. Okay? And I want to read you
with all that money from the tickets that they could have reinforced it.
And then there's just some conspiracy
better controller.
That the people that were in the subs, that they didn't want a rich, wealthy man to drive the boat. They wanted like college kids, whatever. But
there was a lot of weird stuff flying around.
Stockton Rush, the CEO of Oceangate Expeditions, he had a quote about safety because
OSHA has joined the chat.
Yes, because they've failed multiple times, and they just said, "Fuck it, we'll do it live. We're gonna go. Let it eat." This is probably the best quote I have ever heard from a CEO in general.
Okay.
So at some point, safety just is pure waste, Stockton told journalists in an interview last year. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed. Don't get in your car. Don't do anything. That was his quote.
Be in my bubble.
That's beautiful.
That's how I live my life, man.
Hold on. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say something right here. I feel bad for the families. Like I do. Like I don't think I'm not saying people deserve to die, and especially those circumstances, whatever.
It's pretty scary.
However, if the CEO of the submarine you're about to get in says comments like that after failing safety inspections, and you're just like, yeah, seems good to me. $250, that's a steal.
Not even a legit Xbox controller.
I mean,
real quick, if you had to basically, retrofit some kind of gaming controller for your submarine, which one would you think you would pick? I would go classic Sega Genesis joypad.
I mean, I would grab. Okay, so it's got to be a controller. I'd say Xbox 360.
There you go with a legit one. Though.
I'm familiar with it. Okay, yeah, but I mean, you're kind of asking for it, like. Like, I'm just saying, like, I mean, which again, I like this guy just from that quote. It's beautiful. It'd be like getting caught like Robin or whatever. It's like, listen, if you want to be poor, whatever, that's fine. But if you want to make money, steal, fucking rob people, kill people, whatever you gotta do to make money.
Risk versus reward, right? What was also interesting too is the wife of Oceangate CEO Stockton Rush, who was piloting the Titan when it vanished, is the great-great-granddaughter of a couple that died on the Titanic when it sank in 1912. Isadora and Ida Strauss, who both died, apparently, during that. And then I started seeing all these videos about, a conspiracy theory about the Titanic sinking itself. You know, like they knew what the kind of climate, what
I
kind of
heard that.
waters that they were going through. Like, how do you not, they had clear visibility that night to not see an iceberg, and you're purposefully going through these waters and all the.
You didn't hear.
Like, there was a lot of that going on.
Hold on, real quick. Did you hear the conspiracy? Because I heard similar that it has to do with J.P. Morgan.
That's what we're getting to.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right. I started to see things like that about J.P. Morgan.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what if the people on the sub might be enemies of J.P. Morgan? And I'm like, okay, here we go. Oh, my God. And I wasn't particularly ready to go down that whole rabbit hole. But the J.P. Morgan thing was kind of interesting. Because when something goes on like this, if you've watched this show, you know me. The Trump motorcade, UFOs, whatever it is, what else is going on?
Right.
Because here's the middle, but that's why there's all these rings, folks. There's different layers as to the actual story of what's happening. So I figured, okay, well, J.P. Morgan kind of stands out, and that's what got me to this little tidbit here of what has actually happened in the world while we were all distracted by the sub. J.P. Morgan and BlackRock just made deals to rebuild Ukraine. They've set up the Ukraine Reconstruction Bank to steer public seed capital into rebuilding projects that can attract hundreds of billions of dollars in private investments. Of course, I'm stupid. What the hell's seed capital? Basically, it's startup money. It's a capital for businesses that fall. This is the definition from the internet.
I just want to say real quick, I'm so proud of you. I feel like you're on my level now. I'm just so proud of you. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. I'm so proud.
It's capital for businesses that fall into various categories such as green technology or pharmaceuticals, usually in the form of grants, which are financial awards that do not require repayment. So where does the government get the kind of money to do that? The World Bank estimated that in March that Ukraine would need about $411 billion to rebuild after the war. Private investments that would be involved in this, basically corporations, companies, and businesses that will invest on this reconstruction. So, you wouldn't think that maybe like we have a pattern here in our history of like, you know, kind of profiting off of war and destroying countries and then also profiting by investing and rebuilding the same war-destructed companies.
Yeah,
so if you really look at Lockheed Martin shareholders, Vanguard and BlackRock are in the top three. They're number 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Number 1 was called State Street Corporation.
Yeah, that doesn't sound shady.
I've never heard of it.
State Street, yeah.
Right, State Street. So I looked that up. It's a commercial bank that was founded in 1792. It operates in 26 different countries worldwide. None of them are Ukraine. But there were 6 that caught my attention: Taiwan, China, Saudi Arabia, India, Japan, and Brazil. A lot of the countries that were involved in the whole getting away from the U.S. petrodollar and trying to start their own crypto digital currency.
I wonder if anybody knows how Taiwan's doing right now. We're all about the submarine. Just say.
And then if you look at State Street Corporation's majority shareholders, Vanguard Group is number 1 and BlackRock is number 3.
Beautiful.
So I know,
Love
this is
it.
a whole conspiracy theory, whatever, and I'll paraphrase George Carlin. We're all at this point. You don't need like this shadowy conspiracy anymore. These are all big, wealthy business interests and elitists in the highest positions of government and big business, and they all have common interests.
Yeah.
The ideologies are all just there for, it's like how you said about Star Wars. It's fluff. What's actually happening here?
Yeah.
Like it makes me think of that snippet ways back where Ellen DeGeneres and George W. Bush are sharing a box at a baseball game, and people are like, "How could they?" And I'm like, "Of course they could. They're super rich.
Right.
They're the elites. Like, yeah, they have a lot in common, folks. They make us believe that there's all these differences. They point out all the differences between us to keep. But we all know this, don't we? I'm not saying anything that's new to anybody. There's no epiphany happening.
It just depends on if people care or not. You know, some people can just be like, whatever, or there's nothing I can do about it.
We'll roll over this.
So I normally wouldn't tend to believe in the conspiracy theories when it comes to this, right? Like, it seemed like a pretty clear coat, like, okay, might have been some shady shit with the CEO, but, people were going to go see the Titanic and fucking shit happened.
Of course, it's risky.
But the way that the Coast Guard kind of, like, acted towards it kind of raised suspicions, just to me. And that's me not really digging, just surface level. Now let me explain. They have a tough job. I appreciate what they do. What year are we in?
2023.
You're telling me we have nothing to figure out where they are to go get them? Like, we have nothing. Apparently, the closest thing we got after a couple days was they had like some fucking plane, helicopter, whatever, flying over, and they heard
looking for it, and they
heard some noises. Some people said knocking, others said blew up then and there. I mean, I don't know. We don't fucking know. But the point is, and then when they started seeing pieces flow up, and then they go, oh, we finally kind of found it. I mean, I'm
pretty sure that's what that is.
Like,
oh, it's actually a piece of the Malaysian airplane. No.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just so weird. Like, we're supposed to have all this technology, and we could fucking find, like, it's supposed to be an emergency response thing, right? And they were just, like, unaware of, like, we don't know. They just stopped communicating. We don't know. We're right at the ship, and we can't find it. Now, in their defense, they might have given some of their high-tech stuff to Ukraine. They might have. They need it more than we do. However, it just, I don't know.
Part of the seed capital.
I just feel that at this time, in this era that we're in, that we would have the capabilities to find this shit a little quicker, right? Because I briefly listened to the Coast Guard guy make a press conference, and he's like, yeah, man, we have like 17 fucking generals on here. We're working around the clock. And I'm like, yeah, but what have you done? Like, you picked up some sonar noises, and you're quickly like, well, we don't really know what that is yet. Like,
we're not sure.
Because, the news organization is saying, like, it's people banging on the walls of the sun.
The imagery that they were putting in all of our heads throughout the week of just,
they're just
people trapped in there with
yeah.
shit and piss everywhere.
Yeah.
The oxygen's running out. The first one dies, you're probably going to have to eat them, and then you're going to have to poop more. Right. That's a lot of people,
there's just too much flim-flam going around.
It's dark, it's cold.
Yeah, to me, I'm just like, something's odd here. And that's all I'm saying. It's unfortunate, but again, there was a lot of stuff that, people ignored and blew over, and...
Well, the ocean, I know when we talked about phobias, kind of freaks me out, the depth of it, megalophobia, if we really want to use an umbrella term for that. But one that I discovered about you was your fear of heights and falling, potentially, from those heights. And I don't know if you heard this story, but a 33-year-old man fell 4,000 feet to his death off of a viewing platform in the Grand Canyon.
Yo.
Holy shit. Fernando Cervantes Jr., it was ruled a suicide after he fell from the viewing platform. That glass.
You said 4,000 feet?
4,000 feet.
Okay, keep going.
Well, to put that into perspective, terminal velocity for a human body is 120 miles an hour after falling about 1,500 feet. So someone do some quick math.
I'm trying to do it right now. How long does it take to fall, not in love, 4,000 feet?
Forever.
How long does it take to fall 4,000 feet, right?
I don't know. 20 seconds, 25 seconds, 30.
Wow, 15 to 20 seconds?
15 to 20?
Really? Oh, okay.
But still, I mean, after you shit yourself.
I wonder, at any point as you're falling, do you just like, shit, maybe I made a mistake, or like...
if you have the capacity to go for it like that... Are you just fucking
hands back, chilling?
That's exactly how I would go, man. I mean... Why not? Like, if you're gonna jump it, that's...
Are you going face first?
That's devotion, yes.
Swan dive? I think this is just a theory. I think you would like see how many Newports you could fucking smoke before hitting the floor.
I don't know if it would light on the way down.
You'd make it work. You know,
be chain smoking.
you got plenty of time. You figure it out. Or maybe you'd have one lit up while you jump, and then just from there you just
just keep taking a drag if I can.
God, that
I would have to kind of go like an otter almost while it's bathing itself. I'd have to tuck in so that way it would stay lit.
There's gotta, I don't know. I guess
Imagine the cleanup.
Maybe you're just that committed that you're just like it doesn't faze you. Like
That's what I mean. If you
to
have
me,
that
after
kind
10
of...
seconds, you got that much time. I thought it would have been longer, but you have that much time. I'd be like, are you like rethinking? Like, oh, maybe I should not have jumped. You know, maybe my boom. Like, I don't know. That's just me. That's what goes through my head.
It's me on the way down. The only thought would just, I wonder what Oliver's doing.
Fuck that. And to wrap up the sub thing,
I'd have to go with a sign too, like Looney Tunes style.
No, just right. Sorry. But to wrap up the sub thing real quick, like, you know, here's another fucking crazy thing is like we've barely discovered like the ocean, like the depths of
that
it.
Too.
You know what I mean? Like
the pressure and stuff like that. That's what I mean. There's no pressure like that, to my knowledge, anyway, in outer space.
I think it's reversed, right? Like there's no pressure in space, but then there's a shit ton of pressure.
It's like a vacuum kind of thing.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Right.
It's
reversed, but that's what I'm saying. Like we're so fascinated to like go to Mars and the moon, but it's like, I mean, think about that's how powerful the depths of the ocean is. Like the machinery that we've made so far can't handle. There's so many parts that we have not discovered, species that we haven't discovered.
It's a universe with actual life that we know of in it.
Yeah.
Right here, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
The secrets of the ocean. It doesn't want us down there. That's the real conspiracy. The ocean itself is alive and just presses us when we get... I don't know.
It might be. It's just, I mean, Jesus. Have you been obsessed with something that it's like it takes over like your life, like you can't go a day without it? Like,
I mean, those days have passed, but you know.
Okay, what was that? You want to share?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. What about like any like TV shows or anything like that, or activities? There's like I guess you could say
Pulp Fiction
workout.
used to be my bedtime story.
Really?
Like to go to sleep, yeah. Like I would just throw on Pulp Fiction from the beginning, and yeah.
Okay. And how long was that like for? Like, did you do that for?
For a couple of years. I think from when I was like 22 to like 24.
It is a good movie. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I did like. So I bring this up because I was kind of okay. So there's this morning show that I watch, not in the morning, but on my time, at least every day. I watch The Great Bubba the Love Sponge.
Okay.
Okay. He's on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, everywhere, right? So I listen to him every day. I listen to his uncensored he does uncensored after shows. Like I listen to all that. So, you know, okay, no big deal. But what happened was there was he went away. He went like on a vacation, right? And you know, I caught up on all the shows, and then for that 4 days he was off, like I kind of felt weird, like. You know, I was trying to, like, look at new stuff to watch.
Your whole routine's just fucked now.
It was just, like, which is weird because even people that I used to watch, I'm just like, this is kind of, it's just not the same. Like, and then I'm like, I feel like I had a problem. Like, I'm so addicted to this show.
He's addicted to Sponge.
It is, because it's like, you know, I go through Joe Rogan, I'm like, he's got nobody on here. And I flip through other podcasts, and just those 4 days of him being off, it was like...
You had a show hole.
It was weird. It was like, I kind of
like... I could just see you, like, skimming through going, Papa?
Yeah, I was just like, nothing interests me. It was weird. It was weird. I'm like, I'm fucking obsessed. Okay. Like, it's a problem.
I guess I can kind of relate, but not to that degree. And it'll be interesting with this comparison, too, because... For me, it's the Mike Calta show, and we love you guys both, okay? Everybody equally, we realize y'all don't get along, that's that's y'all's business.
Hold on. In fairness, I'm on Bubba's side. I'm just saying.
My name's Paul, and
Just
that's
saying.
between y'all.
I'm just saying.
But a lot of times when they take a vacation, I guess a lot of people they're vocal about it.
Right.
To either the station or to in their DMs or whatever, like, oh, going on vacation again, and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, like,
and that's got to be harder because they're on
every
radio.
single day, yeah. But every single day, like, these people are doing a thing. Like, we do it once a week, and that's whatever. But that's their job, Like, we all take vacations from our jobs, and people fill in, or there's a replay or something. I mean.
Okay.
There's no reason to get like, and I understand your reaction, but you're not, going, come back from vacation, damn it. But you do wish they'd come back from vacation so you could get your little,
or just not take one at all. Like what the fuck?
Just be our friends forever.
Yeah, but because now it's like, okay, now I have to so now I have it to where I miss a couple days, so that way it's like I always have that room where it's like.
But you could be that excited when they come back. Like,
right.
Knowing when they come back and that they're going to have stories
about the time. So now I'm always a day or two
time.
behind, so that way I just have it consistently. But it's a fucking problem. I feel like people back in like the early 2000s or something, like if their main guy who they saw, let's just say Bill O'Reilly, for example, right?
Okay.
As all they watched was him every night at 8.
That was my dad's guy. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And then then the network fired him.
Right.
There wasn't YouTube, there wasn't Spotify, there wasn't any of these other outlets to see him. And you wouldn't know unless reading the newspaper or something that you would get a notification.
Not like Tucker where he gets one and then boom, he's right back.
Yeah, you can go to Twitter or whatever, and it's like, okay, you didn't. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. You got to change. Your word out. Yeah. Right, but it's just like I never. I guess I was like that with the Walking.
When they go away, you're like currently residing in the Where Are They Now file.
Yeah, but it was just. Like I said, it took that to realize I have a fucking problem. Like, I guess it's a good problem. It could be worse. Like, I could be shooting up heroin. But if like my problem is watching my favorite radio show, but still I was like tweaking. I'm like who am I gonna watch now? And like I would watch people. I'm like, it's just not the same.
Well, no, I mean something's always going to be unique about each one that apparently really. Appeals to you to where that just isn't that it thing.
Yeah. You know what it is? They're kind of, we it's similar to what we do. Like, they talk about news articles or they'll talk about their personal life or whatever,
Sure.
but it's not it's not newsy. It's just be like you're just hanging out with the boys.
Right.
Like,
it's just here's what we're.
You just fucking.
That's how I feel like listening
whatever.
to Kelta too. I mean, it's the same vibe. They're ripping on people.
Yeah, but I was just like, man, I got a fucking issue.
Oh.
I got a fucking issue.
Well, I usually catch mine like on the overnight, like while we're doing our side hustle.
They don't have a thing where you can like.
Oh, they do, but at home I'll do that, but when I'm out there I'll listen to the AM replays.
Okay.
But while I was out, another animal sighting happened.
Oh,
I know the armadillo scared me, right?
Here we go.
This one though, I would have fired if I was strapped. I would have. Okay, so I'm coming up the street to a 3-way intersection, gonna go making a left, and this little cat sprints across the road and then commando crawls underneath a chain link fence, and I was just like, "Whoa, kitties!"
And you followed him?
Kitty's on a move. No, I didn't follow him. So I go to make the left turn, and immediately as I look, there's a straight up coyote standing in the middle of the road, looking right at my car, and I'm like, "Run, kitty, run!"
A lot of coyotes.
I would have taken that thing out to save the kitty, but I'm pretty sure he got away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But then he just like stared down my car, and I start to make the left turn, and he did. He got off to the grass where the sidewalk was, but that's what he was running from. I was not ready for that to see that when I turned the corner.
Jesus,
he's pretty tall.
You're something, man.
I'm getting my National Geographic like Florida style.
You're just gonna be shooting awesome. Everything.
Yeah, that's why I don't have one.
I just want to touch on it before we go. It's kind of newsworthy, and we've touched on it before, but it's official now that the Tates have been arrested again.
Same charges?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Which is,
Because the last ones...
Again, we didn't have charges, but we kept them in jail. And then, okay, now you're on house arrest. And, okay, now we found charges, allegedly. Look, I don't really know. Again, it's like, nowadays, it's like, we can no longer get clear-cut answers to anything. Like, everything is done either half-assed to where now we don't believe, like, now we have to question everything.
No one believes anything the media says anymore.
Right, and I'm just like...
We're still talking about the headlines.
We are. But first of all, I mean, I don't know if you've seen him recently. He's done a couple of interviews recently. He looks rough. You know, he's growing out his hair. Yeah, he's got jacked, but, you know, whatever. But, I don't know, man. All I got to say is, you know, they're going to hem him up on something. I mean, they do not... You know, he made a target for himself. But if the allegations are true, and here's my question to you, do you feel like, or would you think like maybe like the recent podcasters or shows that had him on, or like went over to his house because he was on house arrest,
right?
You know, do you think like they would feel like they got duped as well, or maybe played, or like they believed in something? Like, right, I don't know.
Okay,
I guess it doesn't matter to get views.
I mean, I've had that happen. We've all, I'm sure, had that happen on a personal level. You put your trust in someone, you trust them implicitly, and then you got burned, and you just kind of be like, fuck, like, well, they suck.
I mean, it's more like, you know, I wouldn't say burned, but it's just like, you know, you're doing criminal shit.
Oh yeah, too, yeah, and then you know, if I had you on the show and then you like fed me all this stuff and I'm sitting there going, oh, okay,
yeah, I just go home and just, you know, play games. So I'm actually running like a fucking, you know, biggest.
Hey, who are you to know though?
You know, coke dealer, you know, whatever.
Right, you're doing a lot of shady
meth,
stuff
like,
behind closed doors that you didn't want to have aired out on a podcast, but you wanted to go ahead and sort of make your name seem clean anyway. I mean, who's a host gonna know?
Right. I guess. I don't know.
But then if that were to come out, I'd be like, well, maybe I'd be happy I had him on the show. Be like, now there's gonna be more hits because he's in the news again, and guess what? We had him on the show.
Yeah.
And make clips out of him lying. You know what I mean? At that point. I had him lying, if it all came out that these allegations are true, and we had him on the show, and he was talking about how they're all not, I would probably create a series of shorts of him telling us how they're not, and then boom, have the juxtaposition of here's the evidence kind of thing if it were to come out. It's the same shit. We're going around in circles again.
I got two things. One, this kind of proves that this is why you shouldn't really. It's one thing to idolize people, but they shouldn't be like your role models, like because you never know, you know what. You
can appreciate someone's hustle, but like.
Or maybe some of the things that they say. Yeah,
I'm like, dude.
Exactly.
I'm like, you're left field right now, man.
But some shit, you're like, yeah, I agree. But another thing is and I'm almost. I think I just lost my train of thought actually because I was bringing up the.
It's all right. I mean, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, I guess, are like chipping at each other about they're gonna like do a little boxing or whatever. And Andrew Tate tweeted to Elon Musk that said he would train him. Fuck up Zuck. He almost
did. He almost fought Jake Paul. That was almost a thing before.
I guess Butterbean wants to come out of retirement and fight.
He was a fucker, dude. I appreciate the fat guy. See, we only had one fat guy. It's just, man, it's really tough for me to like. I don't know how I feel about it. I like, is he just that polarizing? Like, I feel like there's worse.
They flagged us for community guidelines just talking about him. And we didn't say nothing about, like, we love him. If anything, it was more of me, you know, kind of talking shit about him. And they were like, nope, just because that was the topic.
No, I think it was because I said a Ukraine joke.
No, that just got flagged from Russia.
Oh.
That one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They can't view us in Russia.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they better have... I mean, again, but it's Romania. It's not the U.S.,
right.
You know?
And he thanked them when he got out. So it's weird to see it all kind of happening again.
I just remembered the point I wanted to make. It's either... Does he have this big of an ego that it's like... if the allegations are true, you have such a big ego that you're willing to go on all these shows, do all these interviews, and still deny everything, or are you innocent? Like,
Yeah.
because like look at like the past, right? Of like
It's either
big
the
time
biggest balls in the history of ever,
right.
or he's innocent.
Right, or
And
you
he's
get,
telling the truth.
or you get caught up in your lies. Like you never
Oh,
stick
right.
to the same
And
story,
that happens
right?
too. Yeah.
Like think of all the scummiest people, like John Gotti, for instance, right? Like he wasn't going around fucking doing interviews and like doing all this shit, saying I don't do it. I knit sweaters. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
bake cookies.
like there's just something to it. Either he just has that big of an ego to where it's just like,
Which is believable to me.
which is true,
Yeah.
but that's where I'm at.
Right.
It's like it's either he's got such a big ego that no matter what, even if you have evidence, these many countries going against me, I'm never going to admit to anything. Or maybe he's
And maybe he
telling the
is, because
truth.
all his little Matrix talk, he understands how the elitists basically show everything. Everything's being able. You can look up everything. Everything I looked up, I mean, in
Right.
my stupid brain, could barely understand it. About the shareholders of all these people that are now going to rebuild Ukraine. It kind of reminded me of Halliburton in Iraq, you know, after we destroyed it. And I'm kind of like,
Just like the Clinton
Right, you just do
Foundation
it-
rebuilt Haiti, right?
you just do it right out in the open. So maybe, yeah. What if he's guilty and he's just saying all? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna get right in everyone's face about it. I don't know. Well, speaking of getting in face, this is the last thing I got. Do you know who Mariah Mills is?
No, is she hot?
I do. Yeah.
No,
She's a
okay.
porn star.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess she had a little, what would Jada Pinkett Smith call it? Entanglement with someone named Zion Williamson, who I had never heard of.
Oh yeah, he plays for the Pelicans.
Right, in New Orleans. He's a power
Dumb
forward.
fucking name.
Well, he, I guess, you know, they fucked and guess made a sex tape of it. Well, she tweeted at the NBA and at the Pelicans organization that she was threatening to release that sex tape if he doesn't get traded. I don't know where to. Right, I don't know what's going on. Like, she's like upset. I mean, that's revenge porn if I've ever heard of it.
And blackmail.
Right.
If he doesn't get
I
traded,
think I saw pictures of him and his baby mama. Like, so I don't know what's going on. I kind of want to buy his jersey now because I'm like, because I seen his picture of him and the baby. I'm like, God damn, bro,
he's a fucking pimp.
Dude, he is.
He's a fucking pimp.
He's
He's a big.
Never heard of him
hey,
before
he's a big
yesterday.
boy.
Yeah, and now he is like my favorite NBA player.
This is why.
Today,
This is why NBA is a fucking joke, dude. This is why it's a fucking joke. Hold on. Who gives a fuck? Even who cares? So you can't fuck? Like it's? I don't care if it's a sex tape or not.
I don't know. Maybe there's something in a clause in their contract that's, you know, like that guy that was showing his gun about a thing. Maybe there's stuff about sex tapes. You know, I don't know all the ins and outs of the legalities of it. But today I saw a video of Mariah Mills getting Zion tattooed on her face, right across her left cheek. I'm like, whoa.
Let me tell
That's
you.
a class 5 clinger.
Let me tell you something, women. You need to get your fucking shit together.
Be all right with that.
You need to get your fucking shit together. I mean, for real.
She wants a baby.
Obviously, it's a fucking payday. She doesn't have to work anymore. I mean, come on.
Andrew Tate has joined the chat.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to work anymore. And see,
Right.
and this is why all these fucking bitches want the top 1% guys, so they don't, because God forbid that they have to work.
He's only 22.
God
as well,
forbid.
yeah.
God forbid they fucking work. No, that's why they want all these NBA players, football players, rappers, all these fucking guys to try to get and have a kid with them, because that's fucking paycheck for life. No, $2,000's not going to do it. No. They need, I mean, I've seen child support payments for $20,000 a month.
And she wants him traded.
Yeah. You know
I
what?
want to know to where.
I'll tell you this, if the fucking Pelicans fucking do that, I mean...
No, they said it's highly unlikely that's...
Well, I'm glad that they have some moral fucking grounds. I'm glad.
But there's plenty of sex tapes of her that are all over the internet if you want to look that shit up. It's pretty,
yeah, it's
pretty
called
nice.
Pornhub. Which,
Pretty
by the
nice.
way, real quick, I heard Pornhub was created by a Canadian. Fun fact.
It was me. I'm sorry.
Fun fact. back. Just saying.
Pornhub.
One good thing the Canadians done in the past 40, 50 years. I don't really know. However long they've been. So that's all. Right, all wrapped up? We good?
Yeah,
we good? All right.
I'm all wrapped up, man.
Drop any comments below on any topics that we discussed.
Yeah, what kind of controller would you pick your sub?
You think Andrew Tate's guilty or not? Would you go see the Titanic?
Would you visit any other ruin? What's your number one?
What are you obsessed with? Bubba? Mike Alta?
Mariah Mills? Zion Williamson? I'm sorry, I can't keep it together.
I'm going to get his name tattooed on my ass. Tramp stamp.